If you think of neural networks as the brain of AI, then optimizers, well, they're the engines that actually power the learning process. They are these incredible algorithms that are constantly, tirelessly tweaking millions, sometimes billions of parameters, all in the hunt for that perfect combination to solve a problem. So let's start this journey and see how these engines evolved from taking simple, kind of blind steps to making these really intelligent, adaptive leaps.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the fundamental problem of all this, something we'll call the hiker's dilemma. Then we'll trace how we tried to solve it, starting with the OG, stochastic gradient descent, or SGD. From there, we'll see how we gave it some memory with momentum. And then we'll get to the real game changer, the adaptive optimizers. And we'll wrap it all up by showing you just how simple these powerful tools are to use in the real world.
To really, truly understand what an optimizer does, we first have to get a solid grip on the problem they're built to solve. And you know what? It's a surprisingly intuitive one. I want you to imagine something. You're a hiker, you're standing somewhere in this huge, foggy valley. Your goal is simple, find the absolute lowest point. But here's the catch, you're blindfolded. The only thing you can do is feel the slope of the ground right under your feet and decide where to take your next step. That, right there, is the core challenge of training a neural network. So in our little story, this valley is what we call the loss function. It's basically a mathematical landscape that represents how wrong our model is. Your position in that valley is set by all the model's parameters, its weights and biases. And that lowest point we're trying to find, that represents the minimum possible error, which of course means the best possible performance for our model. So, how do you decide how big of a step to take? This is a huge deal, and it's controlled by this really critical dial called the learning rate. See, if your step is way too big, you might just leap right over the bottom of the valley and end up on the other side. But if it's too small, it could take you practically forever to get there. Nailing the right step size is one of the biggest challenges in deep learning.
All right, let's give our blindfolded hiker their very first tool for finding their way down this valley. It's the most fundamental optimizer there is, stochastic gradient descent, or SGD for short.
SGD's strategy is actually beautiful in its simplicity. Instead of trying to calculate the slope of the entire valley at once, which would be incredibly slow, it just takes a quick look at the slope from a single random piece of data. It's kind of like our hiker just feeling one tiny patch of ground to decide their next step. It's fast, it's efficient, and believe it or not, it works surprisingly well. And the process is just a simple little loop. First, you figure out the gradient. That's just the direction of the steepest slope right where you are. Then you update your weights by taking a small step downhill in the opposite direction of that gradient. And you just repeat this over and over and over, one data point at a time, slowly but surely, you're making your way to the bottom. But, and this is a big but, here's the major drawback. With basic SGD, our hiker uses the exact same step size, the same learning rate, for the entire trip. And that's okay for a simple bowl-shaped valley. But what happens when the terrain gets more complex? With gentle slopes in one direction and steep cliffs in another? A single step size just isn't going to cut it. And this limitation brings us to our first major upgrade. What if we could give our hiker some memory? What if their past steps could actually influence their next one? Well, that is the core idea behind an optimizer called Momentum. So with Momentum, our story changes a little bit. The hiker is now less like a person carefully placing each foot and a lot more like a ball rolling downhill. See, the optimizer starts to build up velocity in directions it has been moving in for a while. This helps it just roll right over any small bumps or plateaus in the loss landscape and really pick up speed on those long, straight descents. So while SGD's path can be really noisy and erratic, kind of zigzagging all over the place with each new piece of data, Momentum smooths all that out. By using a running average of past gradients, it quiets down those wild oscillations and just accelerates progress straight towards the goal. Momentum was a huge step forward, no doubt. But the next evolution, it was a true paradigm shift. It tackled a really fundamental flaw in the whole idea of using a single global learning rate for everything. So let's go back to our valley again. What if it isn't a simple bowl, but more like a long, narrow canyon? To move down the length of the canyon, you'd want to take really big steps, right? But to move side to side, from one wall to the other, you need to take these tiny, careful little steps so you don't crash. A single learning rate is just awful for that kind of terrain. And this is the revolutionary idea behind what we call adaptive optimizers. Instead of one learning rate for the entire model, what if we gave every single weight and every single bias its own personal learning rate? And what if those learning rates could actually change and adapt all on their own as training went on? This new family of algorithms, you've got AdaGrad, RMSProp, and the famous one, Adam, they did exactly that. They basically gave our hiker the ability to take a giant leap forward with their right foot, while at the same time taking just a tiny little shuffle with their left, all depending on the specific terrain each one was dealing with. All right, it's time for the showdown. Let's put these adaptive optimizers head to head and see exactly how they evolved and improved on each other. AdaGrad was the pioneer here. It worked by taking the learning rate and dividing it by the sum of all past squared gradients. Now, this was awesome for sparse data, but it had a fatal flaw. That sum just kept getting bigger and bigger. Eventually, the learning rate would shrink so much that the model would just stop learning altogether. Then came RMSProp, which brilliantly solved this problem. Instead of using the total sum, it used a moving average. This clever trick allowed it to forget the really old gradients, which kept the learning rate from just dying out. And that brings us to the reigning champion, the one you've probably heard of, Adam. The name actually stands for Adaptive Moment Estimation, and it's basically the ultimate hybrid. It takes that smart per-parameter adaptive learning rate idea from RMSProp, and it smashes it together with the velocity-building power of momentum. And this is exactly why Adam became the go-to, the default choice for pretty much everyone. It's like giving our blindfolded hiker the best of all possible worlds. You get the momentum of a rolling ball to power through the flat spots, combined with these smart shoes that can dynamically adjust their grip for every little change in the terrain. For most deep learning jobs, Adam just works, and it usually works really, really well. Okay, so we've just covered a lot of theory, right? We've talked about gradients, learning rates, momentum, adaptive moment estimation. It can sound pretty intense, but here comes the best part. Yeah, that's right. Despite all the sophisticated math humming away under the hood, modern deep learning frameworks have made using these things incredibly, incredibly simple. Just look at this. In a popular framework like Keras, if you want to switch between these wildly different optimization strategies, from the most basic SGD all the way to the advanced Atom optimizer, it is literally as simple as changing a single word of code. That's it. All that history, all that complexity, it just gets boiled down into one simple command. It's pretty amazing. So the key takeaway here is pretty clear. Atom is the undisputed king for most things we do today. But you know what? The journey is far from over. Researchers are constantly dreaming up new ways to navigate these insanely complex neural network landscapes. The perfect optimizer is still out there somewhere, and the quest to find it is honestly one of the most exciting frontiers in all of AI.